Welcome to Training Tuesday. We're going to be talking about how to build your business and create more income just through relationships. That doesn't mean spending money on advertising or anything, just through relationships called joint venture partnerships. So get ready to launch, everyone.
Welcome to Thriving Launch with Louise Congdon and Kamala Chambers, the show for heart-centered entrepreneurs who want it all.
5 days a week, we bring you different segments to inspire you to live a life of freedom. We interview the leading experts in the field of business, health, and love. Be sure to check out Training Tuesdays, where we give you a clear action plan to grow your own business. Maybe you can relate to this. When I was a full-time coach, keep repeating the same things to people over and over and over again, and it got to be kind of draining, and I wasn't really enjoying what I was doing anymore. So what I decided to do was record the things that I had to tell clients over and over and over again, and then I packaged those recordings together and sold them as an online course. If you're interested in creating and selling your own online course, head over to thrivinglaunch.com, and I have a free training for you on how to create and make passive income through your own online course. Today we have Sohail Khan on the show. He is the world's premier joint venture expert and the founder of the $1 Million Partnering System. He's a speaker, he's a coach, he's an author, and he works with corporate businesses and educational establishments worldwide. This guy runs 7-figure, 8-figure businesses. He knows his stuff. We got the best here to talk about joint venture partnerships.
All right, Thriving Launchers, we are here with Sohail Khan. Really excited to have you on the show today, Sohail. Are you ready to launch?
Yes.
Awesome. Really great to have you. And one of the things that really inspires me about you is I listen to your story, and you do this thing called JV, joint ventures. And for a lot of people over at Thriving Launch, I know that a chunk of you guys know what that means, and I know that some of you don't. And I really first want to start off today's interview. What is a joint venture? Why is it important? And who can use something like a joint venture?
Okay, so a joint venture is basically really what it is. It's an arrangement of mutual benefit between two or more people or businesses, and who have complementary resources. So what that basically means is that you can partner up with anyone, or basically you can get access to anything you ever want, any resource you want, any product, any asset, by just partnering with other people who have complementary resources. So I'll give you a classic example. Let's say you are a dating coach or a relationship coach in the marketplace, and you create a program that you want to get out there to other people. Partnering with, let's say, a dating or relationship newsletter that has access to those resources that you need, which are pretty much the audience, is an easier, surefire way and a targeted way to get access to all those customers. And sometimes there's even no cost up front. So it beats the heck out of advertising. And the targeting is just 100% pure, because you're actually targeting those resources or those customers that you're after. So, my whole thing with joint ventures is it allows people to actually reduce their advertising costs down to basically zero by just going out there and partnering with other people who have access to those resources that they actually need.
What do you say is the first step to start creating joint venture partnerships?
I think the first thing that you have to determine really is, first of all, your core target market is where are the people that you're trying to target, or the customers or the clients that you're trying to target. So once you've defined a target market and you know exactly where these people are, then you can go ahead and find the influencer or the person who controls that market that can actually give you access to that marketplace.
I wanted to recap real briefly for you guys exactly what Sohail said, and maybe you already got it, but I wanted to recap it for you guys. Joint venture is when you team up with someone else that could and can help you leverage your offer, your service, or your product that you're offering. So let's say you're a yoga teacher. Maybe you'll team up with a company that sells yoga mats, and you sell their yoga mats and they pay you per every sale. That's kind of like a joint venture. Or maybe they sell the yoga mats, and included is that with that is like one of your DVDs, which helps you get a cut. It's when you partner up with someone else in your marketplace or even in different markets that are synergistic, so that then you can get your name, your brand out there farther. Did I explain that properly?
Yes, and it actually goes far beyond that. The biggest opportunity right now out there is everyone is spending money on paid ads, right? Like Google ads and Facebook ads. People are generating leads and they're paying for leads, okay? And the biggest thing is most of those leads, they're not converting them because those people who come to that company or that individual don't exactly want that product. There's a big opportunity right now to do joint ventures by accessing unconverted leads for companies who can't convert their own products or their own services, and actually doing a partnership with them to offer your product or service to them, to those unconverted leads. So it goes far beyond that. The premise people think of joint ventures is, you mail for me, I'll mail for you, you do a mailing to my list, I do a mailing to your list, but it goes 10 times beyond that.
That's really fantastic. And I know in my business, when we've had email drops or we've joint ventured with other people, it's really incredible. And like you said, we've over here at Thriving Launch, we've just skimmed the surface. And this is why we brought you on. I've had email drops from people like Todd Brown, one of the greatest marketing minds out there. And when he emailed for us and we partnered up in that way, it added a lot of extra leads and conversions over to our site. It was fantastic. We've brought you on today to talk a little bit about how to go deeper with that. What's one of the first things we should look for when we're looking for a joint venture?
I think one of the main things that you really need to look for is, and what we do is I train joint venture brokers around the world. And what we do is we have a joint venture checklist. So we go through the checklist and the first question we ask is the joint venture partner that you're approaching, is it complementary to your own business? Because they have to have some sort of synergy. Okay, you can't just, for example, sell bicycle tires and approach a food manufacturer and expect them to sell your bicycle tires to their customers. It doesn't work. So I think the complementary aspect has to be there first. You have to look and see what sort of synergy there is. And it has to be three wins, okay? It has to be a win for your JV partner, a win for yourself, and a win for the customer as well. So there's 3 wins involved in that. So that is the first aspect to look at when you're going out there looking for JV partners. And I talk a lot about something called the joint venture mindset, is that once you start understanding how joint ventures actually work, and obviously they're called strategic alliances also, it's absolutely phenomenal because it opens your mind 360-degree view, and you basically see joint venture opportunities everywhere, wherever you go. And I've built most of my businesses, 7-figures and 8-figure businesses, on the back of joint ventures and strategic alliances. I've hardly spent any money, really, to be honest with you, on any paid advertising. So that's how powerful it is.
I love how you frame this and made it so digestible for us. I know it's a huge topic. Say you have a company that you feel like is synergistic, the markets match up, you know what your market is. What would you do then? What's your next step? How would you reach out?
The next step always is to actually have a conversation with any joint venture partner that you're looking to team up with. But it has to be something that is an advantage to them also. You just can't approach people and say, look, I've got this great product. I think you should sell it because I think it's a great product. A lot of the things that we look for example, is, and there's 3 different sides to a joint venture. There is, we normally work with someone, for example, who has a big list, okay? So we would approach that customer and say to them, look, we can help you maximize your revenue, okay, from making more money from existing customers. A lot of people, and I'm responsible for this myself because I've done it in the past, spend a lot of money acquiring new customers, spend a lot of money on lead generation, but they don't realize that they're missing out on their existing customers. So that's where a joint venture can be of benefit if you're approaching someone by saying, look, we have a great product. These are the conversion rates. These are the raving testimonials. We think that this product will highly benefit your current customers, okay? And it will help you maximize and create an additional income from providing that to existing customers, so you can have an ongoing initial revenue stream. Then we have people who approach us with products, for example. So look, I've got this great product. Again, we go through the checklist. What is the product? Is it a digital product? Is it a physical product? What are the mechanics behind, the mechanisms behind delivery? Is it easy to deliver? We look at loads of factors: conversion rates of the product, what the product costs, testimonials, and then from that we'll go out and find a distribution channel for them, which would be a JV partner. Now, approaching the JV partner is something that you need to target first of all. You need to understand that this is a product that will highly benefit the JV partner's customers. Okay, so it'll be a big plus to them. And then obviously the third joint ventures that we get involved in are what I call the arbitrage, which is the approaching companies that have unconverted leads that we can use to partner other products to get sales, so they can get a return on their investment on the leads, and also we can split the profits. I'll give you a really good explanation of how to find the perfect joint venture partner. Okay, so I always give the example of, let's say you've got they always give the example of widgets, right? So you've got a widget, okay? Well, the widget is what you sell. Now, what you need to define and write down is, when a customer comes to you and buys that widget, okay, what do they buy before they purchase that widget from you? And what do they purchase after they've bought that widget from you? And that basically is are your joint venture partners. Whatever product they will purchase before they purchase your product, and whatever product they purchase afterwards, those are the ideal products or ideal joint venture partners that you need to go and find.
Now that's very smart, and it really makes me think of a video that I watched with Dan Kennedy. And for all you thriving launchers listening, if you haven't heard of Dan Kennedy, make sure to go to YouTube and look up Dan Kennedy, because he's one of the greatest marketing minds to have ever lived, really. A fantastic marketer and really understands marketing. One of the things that he talks about, several things that you've actually mentioned, is one, the price to acquire a new client is a lot more than to keep that client. So once you get that client and you have a client, you can make a lot more sales to them, especially once you've made one or two sales to somebody. You can keep selling them more stuff. The other thing that he talks about too is that a lot of people miss out on the value of current clients because they're not thinking about the process of their clients. So once a client has bought one or two things, their likelihood of buying more stuff increases. And so we do need to offer our current clients other things that will help make their life easier, and whatever process that we're offering even better. Yeah. Well, I'm curious first is, does joint venture JV, does JVing work for pretty much any industry, or are there industries that this doesn't work for? If, let's say you're a coach, let's say you're a consultant or an expert, can it work for?
Yes, most definitely, because if you're a coach or a consultant and you have existing clients, you can do joint ventures between existing clients, and you can actually go out and find joint venture partners for existing clients. So it's interesting. Let me give you a background. I run a 3-day program and is certifying joint venture brokers. Now, when I first started the program many years ago, we had a lot of people coming on the program who were looking for a business opportunity, right? They had money to invest, they wanted to change their career, and they wanted to do something totally different. Fast forward to the last couple of years, I'm having more consultants and coaches coming on the program because, you know what? They want to add an additional revenue stream and then how to broker joint ventures for their clients. So yes, it does work, and it does actually work for coaches and consultants as well.
What's one of your number one tips that you'd recommend that you haven't already mentioned? I know you've already had so many good ones.
Oh, a good question. What I can do is this. When Lewis was talking about the Dan Kennedy principle. Okay, and this is what I teach a lot in my on my programs and with my clients. So here are the figures. Okay, it costs 6 times as much to sell to a new buyer, because that is the actual cost of acquiring a new customer. But once you've acquired that customer, selling to the same customer costs you nothing. Okay. But here's the interesting thing. If you get a JV partner to do the marketing for you, and you acquire customers and clients via a joint venture partner, it costs you absolutely zero. So there's no lead generation cost, because someone else is actually already has the marketing machine in place and is generating those sales and those customers and the clients for you. So that is how powerful joint ventures really are.
Before we close out the interview, is there any real message that you want to leave people with about things that they could go out and do today to start applying some of these things?
Yes, I think the first thing that you need to be looking at is basically what synergies exist already in your own business, and also looking at connecting with other people. One of the biggest things that I do, and I could actually give you a tip actually, when you go to an event, there's only 2 questions you need to ask people, okay? The first question is an icebreaker question. So for example, let's say I've seen Peter at an event. I'll ask Peter this question. I'll say, Peter, how did you get started as a whatever they are? That question, what it does, it builds rapport. And then the next question after that I would ask him was, so tell me, Peter, how can I help you grow your business? Okay, and that's the second question you would ask. And from that, you'll find out exactly what people need when you go to events, instead of actually going up to people and pitching people. So this is something that I teach all my brokers and consultants, and I do this myself. You know, I've got a few of my brokers and consultants at some big events right now, and that's all we do. So I think the biggest thing is go out there and make as many connections as you can, talk to as many people, and do bear in mind what you're looking for as well. So on the JV partner side, you can substantially triple, quadruple your business without spending any money. Okay, and this is something that I got taught from reading Jay Abraham's book many years ago. You know, getting all you can out of all you've got, and then he became my mentor in 2004. And from there, it's just been, I mean, if you look on the internet and you search anywhere, that's all I do. All I talk about is joint ventures and strategic alliances, because I love it. And I think it is the ultimate marketing strategy.
Luis, I know this is something that you're really good at, that like it's all about what I see you do. It's like just exactly what we've been talking about here is about creating connection with people first. First and foremost is about looking for ways to serve others and create connections. Just curious if there's anything else that you want to add to that.
Well, I think we touched on a lot of really great points there in that question. Asking people, what can I do to help your business, is a fantastic way to really generate learning more about the person's business and also kind of learn about what's going on in that person's business. And then it's a way for you to kind of extract important information to see if there's synergy there. So I think that's a fantastic question. And by asking those questions, you also come off as a person who is interested in providing value and not somebody who's going to just take. So I thought that those were 2 fantastic questions to use.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming on the show today. Really appreciated you breaking down for us exactly what a JV is, because I think a lot of people really need to start utilizing that more often. Businesses, anything that's really big in life, any big success requires other people. And that's exactly why I wanted to have you on the show today, because a lot of people aren't utilizing the resources that are around them. And JVing is a resource that I think a lot of people need to start jumping on today. So thank you so much for joining us here on Thriving Launch.
And thank you for having me. It's been great.
You've been listening to the Thriving Launch podcast. For books and resources related to today's episode, make sure to head over to thrivinglaunch.com. We'll see you there. I have to say, you guys do not want to miss this next episode coming up. We're going to be talking with Lynn McTaggart. I mean, for me, she's like a rock star. This woman is incredible. She is an investigative journalist, and she's done all this extensive research into how to explain spiritual phenomenon in a very scientific way. You guys have to check it out. Also, if you've enjoyed this episode today, be sure to subscribe and leave us a rating. Every time you do that, it helps.